So before we get into how to create space in your playing, which is quintessential to really good phrasing and capturing the audience and creating really strong melodies, you kind of want to ask the question, why? Why do we want to make space, or what are we making space for? And usually I find when I heard this, when I was learning, and even, in teaching it, the initial reaction is, space is equated with pausing, right? Let's make space, pause. That's not really what making space is for. If you ever worked at a restaurant, or, I don't know, like watch an old Roman movie, like make way, right? And the idea is when you make space, you're making way for something else in the music, believe it or not. Now that it could be a pause, but you want to learn that making space is about stopping what you're doing or holding what you're doing so that other elements of the music can come through. Now, other elements of the music can be really just like a drum beat. It could be a piano just playing some chords. It could be another lead. It could be anything. But learning how to make way for something else to come through is what making space is about. All right, so I have a drum machine right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to create space for the drummer. Creating space, right now we're on the rhythm side of things, that's why I have the acoustic, is really, really important. So what's going to happen is we're going to count in fours, and we're going to do an exercise in the first 4 beats, and then we're going to let the second 4 beats ring, and then we're going to go to another exercise in the next 4 beats. Now that exercise sounds complex, but you're going to try this, and if you want to practice this stuff with me, check me out on Patreon, but here we go. So we have the first beat, and I'll show you. We're going to play G, C, D, G on the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's going to breathe for 1, 2, 3, 4. Next bar is going to start, and we're going to skip the 1 and just come in on the 2, 3, 4. But we're just going to always start on the G. So it's going to sound like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Next time, you're going to let the 1, 2 breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of sounds odd, but when you do it, it's going to sound as if the drummer came through and everyone just kind of looked at him and said, take a drum break. So check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me do it without talking. All right, so there it was right there. All right, that's exactly the same thing I did just without speaking. And you can hear when I stopped and made space, the drummer came through, coming through that speaker right there. All right, and so the idea is when you're playing right now rhythm guitar, making space is about letting the other person come through. If we're always doing this, in our rhythm playing, it might get a little exhausting, all right? So coming up with different rhythms as well, exercise number 2. Coming up with different rhythms to a drum beat to help the drum beat breathe, all right? I'll do the same thing with G, C, and D. I'm not going to alternate where the rhythm starts. I'm just going to try and come up with a really cool rhythm that highlights a little bit of the drumming. You're making space for the drummer to come through. So the idea of coming up with a cool rhythm isn't really about, well, how do I come up with a cool rhythm? It's about, how do I come up with a rhythm that has a gap for the drummer? So let's listen. excellent. Sorry, I said excellent as if I was grading a student, and it was excellent. Sorry. So as you can see, nothing there was consistently consistent, had some, similar vibes, but just sitting and playing to your drummer with your rhythm chops, doing the first exercise where you're trying to like not come in on beats, and also this exercise where you're just giving room to the drummer is really huge when you're playing rhythm guitar with someone. And I just did an interview with a really great rhythm guitar player, Rob Eaton, and he was talking about the more people you have, the more of an ensemble, the less you need to do. You don't always have to do this. You don't have to do it. You can leave some space, all right? So a really quick lesson here that if you want to leave space in your rhythm playing, you got to train for spaces in your rhythm playing. And all you need really is a drum machine and a good old pair of ears and some hands and a pick and a guitar, right? and you want to give it your go. You can come up with all different exercises like I showed you in the first one where you stick to a strict rhythm on the counts. And then also you can play just as if there's a drummer and he wants to get a little bit of a groove on. On my Patreon, I'm going to pick different grooves. We're going to do different pauses and different counts. And so if you want to join me there, this was just a quick lesson on leaving space in your rhythm playing and really just how to start thinking about it. Once you get the hang of this, you'll be able to do it nonstop. Hopefully it's made sense. Quick episode of Guitar Fundamentals, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.